Who could play Victor Von Doom?
So in case you guys haven't heard, Robert Downey Jr. is back in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but not as Iron Man, or at least he might not be. We'll get into that later. No, instead, he is coming back as Doctor Doom. Now, I know I'm a little late with this video. I think everyone and their mother has talked about this, but I want to give you guys my quick thoughts and reaction on this, on why I think this is desperate, but it's also a brilliant move the more you think about it, with a lot of potential. Let me get into why. So, in case you haven't heard the news, let me restate it. This is a shock to you, but it was just announced recently that Robert Downey Jr., yes, is coming back to the MCU as Doctor Doom, starting in Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars. Now, originally, Avengers Doomsday was going to be Avengers the Kang Dynasty with Jonathan Majors as Kang, but then Jonathan Majors did some naughty things, so now we have the Robert Downey Jr. as Doctor Doom in Avengers Doomsday. And my first reaction to seeing this news was complete disbelief. I didn't like it. It's clearly, I still think it is, a very clearly desperate move. I don't care how big of an MCU fan you are. This was not an organic choice. This is not an actor that immediately comes to mind as far as like who should play Doctor Doom, that type of persona and tone. No, this is a Hail Mary move on Marvel's end because the franchise as a whole is struggling, despite the success of Deadpool and Wolverine right now, which is killing at the box office. And this is a nuclear option for Marvel. But the more I think about it, the more I kind of realize this could potentially be a brilliant move. So firstly, cynically why this is a brilliant move is because it's an attention getter. Before this, no one cared about Avengers Kang Dynasty. No one really cared about Kang or, Jonathan Majors playing him. If it weren't for this YouTube channel, I was never going to see Kang Dynasty. And I know a lot of people who had no plans to see it. But now that you have Robert Downey Jr. back as Doctor Doom, and the casting that is so bizarre is the only word to describe it, now you have to see it. I still don't think this is a good casting choice. And like I said, I'm going to see this movie regardless just because of the channel. But I am curious. I do want to see this now. Like, now I will be in the first showing. And all the people I knew who weren't going to see Kang Dynasty at all are now going to see Doomsday specifically to see how this plays out with Robert Downey Jr. as Doctor Doom. So it works, right? Marvel's now at the center of conversation in pop culture. There's a lot of buzz now. There's a lot of hype for the future of this franchise. So, I mean, mission accomplished. I wish they did it in a more compelling, creative way with just good storytelling. But hey, it worked. But on to more how this could be brilliant in a more artistic way that's like, makes it more of a good movie. It is kind of poetic to have Robert Downey Jr. as Doctor Doom. Think about it. Robert Downey Jr. was arguably still is the face of the MCU as its main protagonist, Iron Man. So it's kind of fitting to have him come back from retirement to be the face of the MCU still, but instead of its main hero, have Robert Downey Jr. come as the main antagonist of the entire franchise. And additionally, the fact that such an unconventional casting, it could also enhance the performance, and it can make that also more compelling. I'm immediately thinking of Henry Ford from Once Upon a Time in America, or more recently, more famously, Heath Ledger in The Dark Knight as Joker. They want to lean into that risky nature of that casting, and as a result, we got something terrific from both those actors. And I can totally see that Robert Downey Jr. I think obviously Robert Downey Jr. is coming into this project, as well as the Russo brothers who are directing these Avengers films. They all know that this is such a bizarre casting decision, in some ways very risky. So you might as well just lean into that and just throw things at the wall and see what sticks. But by taking risks, you could create something very new and interesting. This will only work if they play it straight. And what I mean by play it straight, what I mean is that, when Avengers Doomsday comes out and we see Robert Downey Jr. as Doctor Doom, I think it should, or at least I hope, plays it straight in a way that nobody acknowledges that Doctor Doom looks like Iron Man. Whether he has a mask on the whole time or he has it off, no one should acknowledge that he looks like Iron Man. It's just Robert Downey Jr. playing a totally different character. And God forbid they do something like have him be an Iron Man variant. You know, he's an Iron Man from another universe that went evil. Not only do I think it's just corny and ruins the uniqueness of the villain from the comics, but it just limits the performance and the direction of the character, I think. Because if you're Robert Downey Jr. and you're going in to this film knowing that this film's going to acknowledge that you look like Iron Man, it's playing with that expectation, or that you're flat out just evil Iron Man, then Robert Downey Jr. is just going to play that way. He's just going to play it as an evil Iron Man. And both the character and Robert Downey Jr. deserve better. If you play it straight, then the sky's the limit. There is no reference point besides the comics. It can be whatever you want it to be. And I think Robert Downey Jr. is a talented enough actor that if given that unlimited nature, he can really give us a performance as Doctor Doom that is going to be very unique, and it's going to raise the stakes narratively, and it's going to be really memorable. And some people might argue that the fact that the film would acknowledge that he looks like Iron Man would actually, kind of enhance the emotional conflict. Because, imagine Tom Holland's Spider-Man seeing his hero as a villain, but it's not really his hero. It's not Iron Man. I don't like that. I don't like that at all, because already it's predictable. The fact that everyone is coming up with the same scenario before the movie is even filmed is already predictable. It's cliche. And if we see it on the big screen, it's just going to feel played out already. If they play it off that way, then I think this kills the MCU. I think people are going to look back at this moment and say, this is the moment that Marvel jumped the shark, and we're going to compare it to Star Wars Rise of Skywalker, which did something similar by bringing back Palpatine. That film didn't execute it well at all, so now we kind of just look at that film as like complete desperation, and just shows and drags the film down. And the same could happen to Avengers Doomsday, but we'll have to wait and see, and I do hope for the best, sincerely. Thanks for watching, guys. Let me know what you think about Robert Downey Jr. as Doctor Doom. Do you like that? Does it excite you? Are you nervous? And is there anyone else you had in mind to play Doctor Doom? Me personally, I would have preferred Adam Driver. I thought he would have been a killer choice, but I want to hear your take. Hit the like button, hit subscribe. I'll see you next time.